Yeah. But neon out the mud. Before I get it out the mud, I stay on top of my fitness and hit the shower, clean it up, and then get back to the business. I don't care about who did it, I ain't worried who didn't. I head directly to the back, so I'll be there in a minute. I got expensive taste, the rollie got a different face. For surely I be in them places, they won't let you pass the gate. Post it up, sipping $1,000 scotches with the rock in it.
Episode 16, Bada Bloom.
16. Bada Bloom. Bada Bloom.
The How You Doing show. Tara and Mike. I was fortunate enough to meet you on the golf course on Randy's trip up here.
That was fun.
Yeah, had a good time.
You guys played golf, did you?
We did. First time I got on the course since I started.
How'd you shoot?
I mean,
were you guys smoking weed on the golf course? I want to report you here.
It was fucking good. We didn't do bad here.
Yeah, we did all right. I mean, I started out pretty good, but then it was snowman after snowman for like the next 5. I tied the first 3.
Did you guys finish the 18?
No. I came out the gate firing at New Bedford. I pod the first 3, and then Randy and them guys, they're like, "Oh my god, we're playing with a professional." I'm like,
that was it. Why
but then
did you bring
it was
Rick
just
with
all
you?
downhill.
Rick's a big golfer.
Rick was working.
Some people gotta work for a living around here.
Have you played that course? You know New Bedford?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a member there too.
I'm a member there. Yeah.
Chris is his brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's Sheriff
Do you know the course better than your brother?
Oh my god! Oh my! He was
my brother can tell you where all. My brother doesn't even know where the first hole is. He can tell you. My brother only knows the 19th hole. That's the bar.
Oh, you played with Sheriff Bubas?
Well, like, which way? Does this dog left or right? It's like, I really don't know.
Wait, he knew nothing.
Hey, yeah,
I know. Nothing.
Listen.
He's a member.
He has the most expensive social membership they got in that club. He's there for the social side of it.
He literally
He has
knew
a full membership.
Nothing about any of the holes.
Yeah, I know.
He's saying it's dog leg left. It's actually right. Like,
well, he's usually pickled after the second one, so it doesn't matter.
He knew the repetition of the cart girl, like how much time we were going to take.
Right.
When he was more concerned with getting a drink than hitting the ball.
Oh, he's awesome. Chris is a good shit.
That's
We had a great time.
He's high strung. He's a great guy. Big heart.
It was cool.
So when did you first start smoking weed?
First started smoking weed. I think I was about 17, 18. I was probably one of the last people out of my high school to start smoking weed.
How about you?
I started self-medicating for my anxiety and depression when I was like 19. So I was like freshman in college.
Wow, I started at 11 smoking weed. I guess that's what happened.
Wow. I hit it hard though. Right when I tried it the first time, it was just like I felt so good and it was like literally within months, like we were smoking kind bud, like Canadian kind bud, and then there was obviously some Mexican swag that would come up with seeds and stems, and like after like a couple of weeks of smoking that, it was just like there was something, I knew something was either wrong with it or I didn't want to smoke that anymore. I had connections in California. I really saw some better stuff, and it was really just like, all right, I want to dive into what is this, like we called it Headies weed back then.
Yeah.
And it was just all these different strains.
Headies.
I dove into that really quickly because I like the feeling of that cannabis better than a wet, soggy, Canadian bud. Most of that kind
they
bud
used
was
to
like
soak that.
dank, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it
you
was
get
just
it
like,
wet.
it wasn't
No
desirable, But actually, the first strain I smoked, I was actually at a Patriots game, and it was Blueberry Kush. And that was some Cali weed. So that was like the first time I ever smoked something good. And then after that, it was like handing me something that I didn't think it was desirable. now I think it was something that was probably picked early, and whatever strain kind bud was like that, it was like all the same. It was like that orange hair, dark green bud. It was just like all had the same flavor, taste, and
Yeah, it wasn't
I
that
remember
good.
that.
no, it wasn't good at all. And like I knew almost instantly, it was like, what is wrong?
Canadian,
I liked it.
Canadian hydro.
It was like a Canadian hydro.
That's what
Yeah.
I
that's what
didn't
it
know
was.
any
I
better
like
back
something
then.
intuitively made me go and like search good cannabis, and that's what I started doing. I was getting good Cali weed, and then back in Massachusetts, I would have it back here, and that's actually my first arrest.
So you were out in Cali a little bit?
So yeah, I had some friends that were out there and stuff, and these guys had all the strains, they had the hookups, they had stuff that I'd never really seen in an abundance.
Oh,
On
so
the
you
East
made a
Coast,
few field trips, did you?
Yeah, a couple of, or
Finding your way back to the
the
source.
package made the field trip. I didn't have to.
Yeah, right,
Oh,
right.
field trip. So you guys went through all the permit process for the grow, and you guys are in the build out mode right now.
Yep. So
How do you feel about it?
Oh, well, I'm a social equity applicant. Back to that. So my cannabis arrest came from those first couple of times that encountered with cannabis, and it's been a long process. Like I got into this because I got into the program. Like I tried years before that with the medical side of things. I've actually
Couldn't get in.
Well, I've been a medical patient for 12 years, so I tried to get in, but the first parameters of having like $500,000 in your bank account before you could even start your project, it didn't seem feasible at that time,
No.
I really knew nothing about raising money or anything along that line, so it was kind of like the dream that was like, all right, that's not happening. I just watched these large companies start coming in one by one, and as one of the first medical patients in the state, I was one of the first customers in there, and just wanted to see what they had, and I knew it wasn't going to be good, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Did it get you high?
I mean, it was just, there was something wrong with it then too. There was something that these guys weren't, maybe they had one good crop or something, but it was just, they started radiating their weed at an early time. So to me, there was something wrong with what they were doing in that process.
I seen it on TV at first when they having the thing about the glaucoma patients. You know what I mean? They had medical weed, and weed's come a long way, man.
It has. I mean, obviously the legal side of things of these large corporations coming in, and whether they, most of these people weren't in the industry whatsoever. So these practices that they were doing are just, when you told a grower that, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? Like, no, that can't be what
Throw
you
it
guys
in the
are doing.
remediator. You'll be all set.
It just doesn't make logical sense. To them, it's like, no, we're cleaning it and making it a better product. And you're like, what? How can you grow something organically and grow it this way, and here's your final product, and you're handing me this pile of shit, and you're telling me it's better? Like, what the fuck? I'm not that fucking stupid. Come on. Like, you can't fool someone that knows what you're supposed to be looking at. And I mean, the industry is going through its ups and downs, and they don't have good products. So why are people buying it? I mean, marketing. They market it correctly. They spend lots of money.
They put pretty packages and nice colors,
right?
You bring up a good point. People are smoking it because they don't know. You have some people that just smoke weed because, one, it's cool. Right. Two, they like the feeling, right? But they maybe have never smoked really good stuff like you did, right? So you bring up another good point, the fact of, I don't know what the hell they were doing it, but I know I didn't like it. Right, so it's almost like a craft beer or anything like that, and I think that's the knowledge that needs to start being put out there as far as for these smokers that are not, up to speed with knowing what's what. Right, so you got some people that just want to get high.
Yeah, most consumers probably don't know or don't care. I mean, there's a lot of people that eat shitty food all day and fast food, things that are horrible for you.
No, exactly.
America serves a lot of poison things that people either don't look into, or they're just oblivious to doing their everyday life things and not looking at what they're doing. But there's also a lot of people that do care about what they put in their body and conscious about what they want. And when you're smoking and combusting cannabis, you would like to think that you would have something that is at least safe to be smoking, and whether or not it is or not safe, that you would like to know the process that was done, and you should be able to choose what you want to be smoking.
100%.
Bada Bloom, you guys are out of Tyngsboro?
Tyngsboro, yeah, it's our cultivation, manufacturing, and home delivery.
And did you guys found it together, or was somebody you guys did together?
We did. Tara and myself.
Yeah,
we started this thing in a weekend. Basically, is where we started putting this thing together. And
my fault.
Yeah.
did you guys know each other before you guys met for the business?
Yeah. Well,
we met.
Tell the
But
story, Tara.
September 2017, it was right before I was going to LA to speak about municipal law at one of the Cannabis Business Expo, the CW, whatever that is. Yeah. And Mike came there with me. That's where we met Boston George.
Okay.
So that was like a cool thing. And then we were just he was consulting with people on how to grow, and I did the legal end of things and was talking to people. I used to work in politics in Florida, so I've been in lobbying and government affairs type of stuff since like 2004. So then we went to the expo, and then we started working on going to all of these events, and we were in Florida and New York and Maine and I mean Chicago. We've been everywhere.
Wait, I still missed how the first conversation started.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes in between there too.
I missed that. Did you turn around and you guys run into each other? Sorry, my bad. Hey, you're an attorney. Hey, guess what?
He had come from California. I was working as a cannabis lawyer. That's right. I was working at the Northeastern Institute of Cannabis, that school in Natick. Okay. And then we kind of had mutual friends.
That what they teach everybody.
So, Mike, did you come over for some advice, some attorney advice on one of the cases? Like, how did that first conversation go? I'm missing the first conversation.
First conversation was, hey, how are you?
Going back and forth. Like,
the first conversation.
A lot of inside going on over there.
It was, hey, how are you? What do you do? And I was like, I'm a cannabis lawyer. And I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, I came from California. I don't know. I thought he was cute. I want to talk to him. Like,
now we get to it. Now we're getting to it.
There we go. I didn't come from California. I just came home from there.
Mike was put on the chopper, boy. I got it.
And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to LA. You want to come to LA?
Like,
and
hey.
he brings his little skateboard on the plane. He's like skating all around LA and Venice Beach. And I was like, oh, this guy's cool.
Oh, perfect.
And then he's like, I'm working for all these big companies, and they're all like doing large scale grows. And Mike is like small batch purist, just like with his food, just like in Italy, how he was raised. You know, everything is pure. You have to have nothing.
No additives,
no preservatives, nothing. Everything's pure. So he's the same way with his cannabis, just like the family vineyard he had. And it was just like, wow, you know what? If I'm going to invest in something, it should be with something that is pure and good. And something that when all of the OGs that we were meeting all over across the country that were extremely critical of all of the MSO weed that they were trying, when they tried Mike's Bubble Hash and all were like, wow, this is the best stuff. I was like, wow, well, why wouldn't I help him get this good product all over the world? Like,
get it out to market.
You know, honestly, I like organic food. I like to have the best things in life. And, you know, sometimes you have to pay a little more for it. But like, that's what Mike makes. That's like the way he pheno hunts and for the different strains and the terpenes that come out of that and the bubble hash and the care that he puts into everything. I mean, I quit my job making, you know, a lot of money so I could just like focus on this because I believe wholeheartedly that this was a missing piece of the market. There's not enough of this where people are putting
weeds?
The craft cannabis.
The true craft cannabis. Just not the stuff that's
obviously
labeled.
natural dirt, right? You're growing in natural dirt.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we're soil grown, and I mean, there's so much to why that final product comes out the way that it does. But you know, do we see much of this on the shelves right now? I mean, there isn't much of it, and it's like, why is there not much? Well, the growers were never incentivized to get into this industry. The barriers.
No, they just pump it out.
Well, the barriers are so hard to get in. It's like you need to come from money of some sort to either start on your own, or you need to do the route we did and have to start raising money, and you have to start creating. I mean, when I originally got into this and we looked at the regulations, and we were supposed to have 15% of that fund that was, of the Cannabis Social Equity Fund, of the total taxes was supposed to go into there, and it just didn't happen the first year, and then it didn't happen the second year, and then the third year.
So
and
we
it's
had
like,
to keep afloat. We had to keep our mortgage going, and we had to keep raising money.
I mean,
it made law school look easy.
It takes a lot of money, huh?
what happened to the first 3 years of that money? I mean, it's a simple math equation. How much were we making? I mean, the market started at, under $1 billion, and then we increased to $1 billion, and then 1.5. I mean, this year we're in trajectory to hit $2 billion.
What, just rec?
This is just for recreational
rec
cannabis.
was 1.5 last year, something like that.
Last year, I believe 1.5, and now we're in trajectory to hit over $2 billion.
Right.
But it's like, I mean, now that fund has doubled what it has been in the past few years. But even so, where did the first money of that go? Like, now the fund opened and there was $27 million in it. Like, okay, the bank account was there this year, and then they issued their first tranche of money, but you gave me 50 grand, and I'm very, grateful for that.
Right.
But for a cultivator, that's less than a penny. I mean, the build outs,
it's like a Band-Aid for severe head trauma.
For sure. I mean, it doesn't.
Build out costs?
I mean, ours are, upwards of $5 to $6 million for the total build out. And then obviously the cost of the real estate on top of that.
Yeah.
We did buy our building. I mean, we're playing the long game here. I need to come online and be sustainable.
The long game.
We're not just coming in to, be here for a little bit and take off. We're here to actually grow weed here in Massachusetts for a while.
How are you
I
cooling
like that.
She said you have, 5,000 square feet of canopy?
Yep, of canopy. Our building's about 15,000 square feet. And
No, he don't smoke. Rick don't smoke.
anyone else? So it's about
Believe my- if it
15,000
was a
square
male,
feet.
We're going to convert him.
Tier 1, 5,000
Style
of
of gummies.
canopy of bench space.
Right?
Yeah,
How are you cooling
Flintstone
the
vitamins.
space?
So we actually have a liquid cooled. It's lighting
You
technology.
using a chiller?
Yep, we got 3 chillers, and then each room's got 1 dehumidifier.
So you got chillers with
water-cooled lines.
hydro coils?
Yep. So basically, the water is coming from your light, right? We're cooling the light with the water, and then we're also sending water into each of the rooms for any of your comfort cooling as well.
Yeah, on an air handler with ductwork, or you just have the air handle in the room?
Nope. So the air handlers are actually outside. So we have just the ductwork comes into the top of the room, basically going through your dehumidification and also heating and cooling, capturing all of the waste heat from the lights itself, and then repurposing that waste heat to basically heat your facility.
So you're ducting, you're basically using ductwork and you outsoil units and using a chiller.
Yes.
So is your ductwork all going to be stainless steel?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything's CGMP certified.
Yes, that's crazy
Why
money.
would I build it not?
Crazy
Because
money.
eventually federal
So on the
legalization
chiller,
It's just more expensive.
will be here.
do you also have an additional coil for the winter to get the free cooling?
Oh, yeah. Up to negative 20. So we got the only chillers.
Yeah, so you're going to shut down the compressor units, and then you're going to use the outside air to cool it. That's going to save you a lot.
Absolutely. So you have them air chilled through that certain time in the
Good
winter.
engineer.
Absolutely.
That's the way to go right there.
Can you
It's the
tell Rob
most
does
energy
HVAC?
efficient system that you could design.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, because if you add up the winter free cooling that you're going to get, because basically it's months and months of free cooling.
right?
Because, you're going to have your stuff set at a certain point, and then your free cooling set at a certain point, and stuff kicks in. No, I understand the whole gig, and that's a good way to go.
For sure.
Is it
I
too
mean,
cold to hang meat?
What kind of equipment did you go with?
What's that?
What kind of chill equipment?
So all of this is under one company. It's Adaptive Grow. So Adaptive Grow Technologies has basically lighting, dehumidification. They also have the chiller system, and then basically the platform that you would use to run this entire
Is
system.
that Andrew, the electrician, doing that?
No.
Different guy?
No. Yeah.
Andrew the electrician.
No, I know a guy that goes around the country and sets up grows, and he's an electrician. He's actually pretty, doing really well at it.
All right.
But it's amazing what this equipment costs, and then the utility costs.
For sure. I mean, you get incentives back for using these systems. Massachusetts has crazy incentives for energy efficiency. So,
What are they giving you?
I mean, what do they give you, or what do you want? I mean, you do have to fight with them a little bit.
Right,
If you buy your equipment first, then they don't give you the fucking money. So you have to basically sit down with National Grid, sit down with the engineers, explain to them why your system is more energy efficient, and then basically come back and agree and negotiate to a term that you're going to say, I'm buying this equipment because it's going to cost me less in operating costs. So I want this incentive back because there's millions and millions of dollars that Massachusetts has to give out for those incentives. So
They don't want to give it, though.
they don't, which it's like
That's the
such a
problem.
weird. I mean, if you have the right engineers and then you have the right team, I mean, my plumbers and HVAC guys together, I mean, these guys do incentives every day. So they know the right people, know who to talk
But it's
to.
still going to be a big bill.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a decent chunk. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that we'll
The
get
electric
back.
company's going to love you.
It's brand new.
Well, when you brought up the cost of things, Massachusetts is like one of the most expensive states to get off the ground for cannabis, so it disconnects you from a lot of the real.
Yeah, I mean,
The real that were in the business before, you know,
it's
where
not,
you gonna find $5 million laying under a rock?
No,
you know,
this is not an easy industry to get into. That's the thing. Like, even with the social equity money that they're dishing out, I mean, I still don't see how. I mean, there's so many ways you could dissipate this money right now. I mean, we're waiting for the application like every day. I'm checking my phone every 20 minutes right now because it should be released any minute.
They're going to give you an application to give you some cash?
Some more. I mean, there's still 27. There's about 24 million in the fund still. They barely gave out 3 million. I mean, out of the 27 million, 2.3 was given out to, I believe, 46.
So why are they holding back?
It's just taking
Coming
time.
up with a process. They have to come up with the application for a loan. They have to justify it.
You need to bring somebody out to lunch.
They have to, you have to be able to justify it through your business plan. And when you sit down and you're on these like workforce advisory panels, all these different things that put government processes together, it's a group of people sitting around week after week around a boardroom table. And then they talk about the best way to put it forward. And people have to agree, and people have to talk about it, and people have to write it down. And it's a whole process. And if you can't agree, then they say, okay, let's table this for the next meeting. And then the meetings just keep getting tabled.
But isn't a lot of the people on that board don't know anything about it, right? And it's almost like they don't care the amount of money that's already been put forth.
Well, people like to.
How long does it take for the breaking point, for the even point, right? To get back to par and all the investment that you make up front? Like, how many years do you have to,
You gotta sell some serious weed to get that money back.
I mean,
well, how long you guys been at it for the licensing process?
We bought our building in October of 2021. The brand name we put together when we were locked in the house during COVID, and we were just like enjoying cannabis and thought it would be really cool to create like an Italian Sopranos style of brand. And then that's when the company itself was named Bada Bloom. So we bought it in October 2021.
Love the name.
But we needed thank you that we did that. We needed $600,000, and we needed it within 10 days or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was a couple
And
weeks.
basically, if we didn't get that $600,000 within that ridiculously small time frame, we were not going to be able to buy the building, and we were not going to be able to have Bada Bloom as it exists right now. So we had those 10 days. We went, okay, universe, let's see if we could do this. I thought it was crazy. I didn't think we were going to get to do it.
Mike went to the
Did you guys
Patriots
take a
game
trip to
and put the
Mexico?
money on the money line.
Just wondering. Or some other country.
No, Mike went to the Patriots game and put the money on the money line, though.
We called everyone. We called everyone we knew. And then we called family and friends of family and friends of family. And then we got it. And I was like, oh, shit, now we're doing this thing. Like,
Now we're in.
Like,
Uncle
honestly.
Cash.
Jesus Christ, I called Trevor for $60. He told me to go fuck myself.
But it was, it's an investment. And that's why people are doing it, because they believe in what we're doing. At first it was like, oh my God, they just gave us $600,000. It's like, no, they didn't give us $600,000. They invested in it, and they're waiting for their return. And they own a piece of this building. Everybody owns this building. All of our investors that has given us up to our $2.6 million to date. They all own a portion of our building and our license and
They
our
all own a
asset.
piece of you.
Yeah.
The real estate too, as well. We
Yeah,
built
but the
them
fact
up,
that they trust you, the fact that they just put it up that fast.
Honestly, it is.
That's amazing.
It is
flattering.
amazing. It's so flattering.
Right?
I mean,
That's what keeps us going every day. I mean, I put in a lot of money, my entire life savings. I mean, everything that we have has been put into
This is going to be
business.
interesting when we get this
It's
weed.
like I put it all on the line, like I had to, because what other chance? I mean, I could have invested in other things and made different investments.
Me too.
And, you get older, you learn about investing.
I think you picked the right
about
one.
You put all your eggs in one
but,
basket.
This is how I was brought up. I know what I can do, and I know what I'm capable of, and
And I
we're
can
not
see what
stopping
he
at
does,
anything.
and
We're
it's
getting
amazing.
this place up and running. It's like it is happening, and it's just more of a grind. You have to figure out either how to pivot or how to grind and just make it work, because you're just going to keep getting wrenches thrown at you in this industry in any way, shape, or form. It is not fun.
Like torpedoes.
I mean, there's very many nights of not good sleep. I mean, you're always worrying about this and that. The bills are always coming in. It's like it's not an easy task to do.
Bad
this,
game of dodgeball. Dodge a wrench, dodge a ball.
right? Get hit by the wrench.
Patches O'Houlihan.
There were
Is
so
there any
many
equipment in there now? Is everything cooking?
No. Well, I mean, there's some equipment in there. All our switch gear is in there for our power. The power is to the building is live. We're building up. We have a second floor mezzanine right now. We're just getting that all completed. I mean,
Buildings take a lot.
I can't believe we've been doing this for 3 years.
It's just a lot. Yeah,
Been 3 years?
The capital is so much.
What did you think when you first started and you're going to say you're going to build this? How long did you anticipate you thought?
Oh, it's about a 6-month build max.
And then,
Well, I thought
that
it would take
happens
like a
every
year and
building.
a half
the
to be
whole,
open.
it wasn't even that. I mean, we went through COVID. We went through all these things where the prices. If I built this building 3-4 years ago, I'd literally be putting
40%
well
less.
over $1 million in my pocket. Probably like 1.4 to 1.6
Well, everything's gone up by
million
43%. Everything,
It's
50%.
nuts. It's not probably even more. Probably could have been 2 million less.
What was some of the what are some of the biggest hurdles with the licensing process?
It's just money.
I mean, yeah,
It's
the
really
licensing.
money.
Tara is, an expert
like a
at
money
doing the
machine,
process, the town process, and getting through, and doing everything we have done.
You don't have to pay for that because I'm partner. So
That's
like,
good.
That's
It's
things
not
that save.
obvious.
Still a lot of
Obviously-
time, though, right?
Of course, you have to
yeah,
wait on certain
but
things, and
sweat equity.
They're not, quick either by any means. But we've made it through all these processes. We've got multiple host community agreements for different things and other, municipalities as well. And you're just gonna, you're trying to pivot and figure out a way that works. And
How close are you guys to actually getting growing?
So right now we're solidifying our investments. So I just got an appraisal on our building this week, so it should be done in a couple weeks, and we have a lot more equity in our property now. So our goal is to utilize that, and we have some interested investors who are current investors that are
awesome.
like, they know we need to get up and running. They see our
takes a lot,
product,
huh?
That's
It's
one of
just-
the.
We're so lucky though. We have investors that like we actually like, that we can hang out with, that we enjoy having dinner with. Like so many people that we have
Do the
met.
investors smoke weed?
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
A lot of them
yes,
do.
they're
A lot of
great.
them
We
do.
have. That's why we have 38
They
investors.
probably love his hash.
Oh, they do.
They do, but
they do love
they're
the
all.
hash.
But it's like they're not just investors. They're like our little extended family. Like we're all in this, like focusing
Yeah.
on this together. We're all trying. Like every person that's like bought into the company is a part of the Bada Bloom family. Like, and they all are like trying to get us up and running. And then we all just like talk to each other, hang out with each other. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys have a dispensary also?
Well, right now, so we actually did get a dispensary HCA approval in Plymouth.
That's good.
So yeah, it is. But we have our delivery anyway. So our model was, I mean, you need some sort of retail. You have to have some sort of retail sale. I mean,
Today,
And
you
it's
can't
all
just
in
all
our building.
wholesale it
because
all.
we
if you're
own, so
wholesaling,
it's
if these
nice.
guys are calling what price they're going to tell you, and regardless if you grow the best cannabis, I mean, they're going to give you a shitty wholesale price, and they're going to sell it for top dollar in the dispensary. That didn't cost them nearly as much capital, and that's why the growers are ass
Sell it
backwards
yourself.
right now. I mean, they're saying, why doesn't cultivation make more money? I mean, well, a lot of these cultivators aren't growing top-notch weed, or either the grow is just too large, operating costs are too much. I mean, there's a method to the way that we're doing this and why we're doing a craft grow and why it's small, because the overhead is a lot less. You can operate it for less money. I mean, it's when you have the right people in the right positions, you can profit a lot off of these businesses. But is there other things that are still hindering the market itself? Of course there is. I mean, these guys are driving the price down. They've been doing it for a while. They have a method to what they're doing.
Corporate America.
They want to knock the small guy out, though. They don't want our stuff on the shelf. Because now you're notifying consumers that there is better cannabis and there is something that they might
But
even
there's
actually
always
want.
room for Walmart and Target.
course.
There's always
Yeah.
it's America.
There's an
You have
ask
to
for
have
every seat.
A market
There
for
is.
everyone.
They're just when they hold out
Walmart
on
controls the price. You know what I mean?
The economy is not the best economy. People are always searching for deals in anything. So for cannabis, they're looking for the cheapest stuff on the shelf. But, we still live in a very, lucrative part of the country where people do have money and people are willing to spend more. I mean, if you
Right.
go into Whole Foods store, it's packed all the time.
Yes.
Those are not
Yes.
cheap groceries. I mean, things are a lot of money and people still pay for those. So why wouldn't they pay a little bit more for good cannabis? And,
would.
now it's coming down to your brands and how do you know your brand and how do you know, their practices and follow what they do and educating people to follow the brand. And, that's why we've been standing behind since day one. I mean, the second I saw a radiation machine in one of these facilities, I was mortified. Like, what what the fuck is this? I'm a
That's
medical.
that's almost every facility.
This was a medical facility, and I was a medical
Almost,
patient
but
for
not
years.
all.
You know,
Not all. There's some
and,
good
you know,
ones.
granted that I'm not a cancer patient, but I know a lot of them, and you know, I don't believe that a cancer patient should be smoking something that was put through a radiation machine. They're claiming that they're cleaning it better for the cancer patient. I mean, I think they have enough radiation with chemotherapy. I don't think we need any more.
Have you tested any of the weed that you grow?
What do you mean as in
Have you
test?
tested like the weed for the percentages?
Oh, actual
and-
testing.
Potency?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've done a little bit of tests. I actually have a couple sent out for labs right now.
Just to make sure the live, you grow in live soil, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one thing that stood out on the golf course when we were out there with Randy when you broke
it's-
out the hash
right.
and we fired it
yeah.
up.
I bet you Randy
It
was
was
smoking
it was smooth
Do
and
I
tasty.
personally care about the testing result? I mean, I would like to say wipe the testing result, make sure everything is clean, and don't let the consumer even look at it, because everyone's driving this by THC price and it just, or THC percentage rather, and it just doesn't make logical sense. I mean, you literally just tested one in this house and the thing says 25%. And it came out to 14. That makes no logical fucking sense to me.
Everyone we
this
buy
is
almost.
wild. Why the fuck is this in the market in
But
Massachusetts
some of these
right now?
people are on point. Some of
Who
these
the
people
fuck
are
is
on
testing
point.
that?
No, but there are some brands that are on point.
Yeah.
There are. We've had
No,
some
I
that
know.
passed.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying it's everybody. I mean,
But
But
It's not
only
so
like
much the
20% of the
potency as
people.
much as it is to what you're smoking, right?
Yeah,
You're
but-
taking pride in what you're smoking. You know it's good shit. It's not going to get you sick. You don't got anything extra in it than
Right.
what's supposed to be in it. And that's what needs to get out there and educate the
Right?
consumer.
It's not
well,
all
maybe
just
the
about the
strain
high
is
THC.
great. Maybe it doesn't matter what that percentage is, but maybe they want their percentage higher because the guy who's buying it saying, I won't buy that unless it's this percentage. I'll give you more money for it. So now it's a game of the race to the bottom, but then everyone having the highest THC on the testing so they can still get more money for their pound.
Is that like some of the major concerns that you're
that's
having
what I'm seeing. I mean,
coming into the market? Like,
I mean-
what are some of your major concerns that you see with the market now from when you guys started? To come into it.
They're dropping that price and they keep going down. I mean, people think the outdoor is going to drop the price even more, which, you know, maybe it will. It's raining
See,
for the
and-
next 4 days, so I'd like
and-
to see what they're going to do for their massive
They better
outdoor
close the greenhouse.
crops, you know?
What
Yeah,
is-
and honestly, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I've just with trends with different things throughout my life, I always like the boutiques type of clothing, different things that are different, things that people pay more for.
yeah.
And I think that those luxury items withstand any economy. That is what I have seen.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the bubble hash rosin that Mike makes and the strains that he has is of that quality where, yes, are all of those other bad things happening in the economy for different like basic products? Yes. But I don't think that has anything to do with us because I think people are going to buy
So
the best
basically,
like
you're
they want the
economy
best.
proof.
Right.
I believe so. Yes,
I
do.
believe that. I believe that too. If your product is good,
If you have
And
inferior
people always
product,
going to
I
scrape
don't
up
worry
extra
about
money
it.
to buy
I
what they
don't.
want.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, to touch on the outdoor, like I think you can make killer outdoor flower here as well. I mean, the small batch and having a smaller farm, it's just in an abundance. It's not easy to grow in Massachusetts. We've had a great year, but all it takes is these next few days.
There goes
and
your
it's
mold.
like, well, what are you putting on the plant to spray it? I mean, in the smaller, grow with the right genetics. I mean, I have some genetics here that actually are, bred in the outdoor of California by some killer breeders. And this thing is just ripping and it's killing it. And it's like, there is no PM whatsoever. It's just so resistant. And like
Selected, tried and
that's
true
what you'd want to
cut.
run, something like that. And it actually did really well here. I've never grown that strain outside. It was a clone. I've been running it indoors for years, and it's a killer sour.
it's doing good.
Oh yeah, it's killing it. Like this thing is so. It's a beautiful plant to be
You have a
able.
picture?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a picture from the top. Yeah, you can see. I got a picture for you. But I'm just saying, like, when I hear these things from these people that are, looking at it from the financial side, they're like, the market's going to get flooded even more when the fall comes and everyone's going to get taken out even more because they're going to flood the market with massive fields of shitty outdoor. Like, what? How the fuck do you even think that makes any logical sense? Like,
I think
our model is the whole different other thing of that in Massachusetts.
I think a lot of people that don't really have never been in the business don't really understand the business, and they think like all weed's the same. Like
Right.
there's nothing established yet, like the liquor industry. Like there's this Scotch maker's family's been around for hundreds of years.
For sure.
That withstood recessions, depressions.
Right.
Cognac makers.
Exactly.
But it sounds like they're doing it purposely to drive that price down, so they
for
know
sure.
what they're doing.
And if there is people that know what they're doing and know how to grow and they have their stuff on point, I mean, they are probably. I think there is a couple outdoor cultivators that are killing it in scale here, but they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a while, But then there's a lot of these other people that think they can just grow at scale, whether it's indoor or outdoor. The indoors look more horrifying than the outdoor does. It's like, that doesn't make any logical fucking sense. What did you do to build that place out to have that? Well, I guess they didn't have a grower when they built it out. So now this engineer is telling you what they thought that room should be and setting parameters to some guy who just has a big pocketbook, which makes no logical fucking sense, because then you go hire the grower and this kid comes in with his grow style. And then they got him, you're going to hit this many pounds per light. And he's like, all right, I'll try. Feeds it more nutrients. Fucking wastes more money, first of all.
Serious.
So they're dumping money out the door. And then there's mold in the room instantly. And they're like, let's just spend $350K on another radiation machine. What the fuck?
That's what solved, the radiate.
Yeah, they just figured it out, and that's their model. Like, this is part of why they think that they're successful.
It could almost be like a cartoon show. About the weed.
When you really look at it this way, it has nothing to do with growing weed. Like, it's about their real estate assets, their licensing, and just their position. I mean, if it's a public company in a public market, I mean, in my eyes, this has nothing to do with growing weed anymore.
They're the McDonald's of the industry.
Yeah.
And people love McDonald's. Some people like it.
Flood markets, knock everybody out, and then just try and come in and scoop up all the retail.
Well, they're trying to get all their money back, right? Because it was a race to get these licenses with everybody with the deep pockets, right? Like you said at the beginning, you needed $500,000 even just to play in liquid, and that went up to 7 figures.
Oh, they made their money in the beginning, though. They made their money. It's just probably not in America anymore. I'm sure it's in the Cayman Islands or Isle of Man or something.
Right.
So when you have the equipment,
Dubai. Who the fuck knows? It ain't here.
Do you have the equipment, like the equipment on order? Is everything on its way?
I mean, everything. We're literally just waiting to order. Our longest lead time is that equipment. So we're still looking at a minimum of 4 months. So basically, I mean, our sprinklers are our next thing to go up. We have the walls and the sprinklers. I do have.
Are you using plastic inside on the sprinklers? That's like half the price now.
You can't use plastic for sprinklers.
Yes, you can.
Not in the no. This is controlled construction. Anything
controlled construction has to be cast iron.
Oh, absolutely. Everything's got to be cast pipe. The sprinkler system's $85,000, which some people I think quoted me for $120,000. Which
no, I believe they got the communicator box and the whole thing with the sprinkler and the test station and the pull station, and the crickets.
It's a lot. I mean, you probably could have got that done for $30,000-$40,000 a few years ago, but now it's $85,000, and that's the best quote I've gotten.
And it's just going to keep going up.
I mean, well, no, it shouldn't keep fucking going up. It should come down now. What the fuck? The price of the steel came down. Why the fuck are you holding the price? Oh, because we can fuck you.
So you've got you grow in a different style than most commercial grows, live soil. There's not many people doing it.
No, I mean, there's just it's more work and everything too. And I'm coming down
better
from
product though.
The work, of course. I mean, the work is always
perfectionist.
That workload is what you're putting into that final product. That's part of why it is the way that it is. And
Did you start the other way when you first started growing?
No, I actually didn't. I mean, when I originally started growing, I was using some synthetic nutrients. I think there's some Fox Farm or something. They were in soil for sure. And I was,
always has
definitely
to have soil.
messing around with things like that. But then obviously
His
over
father
the
would disown
years
him.
and understanding and really diving into super soil.
How long does your soil last? Do you have to
I mean, you'll amend the soil, obviously, certain times.
Amendments.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep testing your soil and amend it for what it needs. I mean, you definitely want to make sure your soil all stays on point, but it keeps getting better and better. I mean, I have not run no-till in a facility of this size. I mean, am I going to experiment with a room on it? Probably, more than likely.
Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now we just amend our soil and we'll just keep turning it over for every runs that we have. I have 5 flowering rooms basically. So every few weeks that we're going to be harvesting a new room, and then we'll have a different batch of soil that's basically still amended and ready to go for the next one. So we'll be emptying out the pots. I basically veg in 1-gallon pots, flour in 3-gallon pots, and just keep ripping pots through. I mean, I got each room's got about 850 plants inside of it.
That's a lot of plants.
So I seen you guys active a lot on the social media and stuff with a couple of the guys from The Sopranos.
Yeah, we're doing a show.
How did that happen? How did that
Baking
come?
Bad.
Did they fall in love with the name?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we had a mutual friend in common, and Vincent Pastore, who played Big Pussy on The Sopranos.
That was a great show.
Big
Yeah,
Pussy.
I know.
By the way.
Yeah, I loved it. I was binge watching it through
Growing
law
up,
school.
the
Actually, it was
staple
my
of
only
childhood.
like TV show that I watched.
I wish they didn't kill Big Pussy. I still regret that.
I know. He's an incredible actor and just an incredible person. Really is a really cool person.
I know
he's
I
cool.
like how they brought him back and like cameos in his dreams and stuff, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, and actually at the expo we were just at, somebody brought the big mouth Billy Bass that flaps and like had him sign it and took a picture with him with it. Yeah,
That was a great show.
yeah.
So you had some mutual.
We have a mutual friend.
Yeah, basically there was a mutual friend that hooked us up with these guys, and they started talking about they were doing this show, and they heard the name Bada Bloom, and they were like, "Wait, we got to meet these people." So they put us in touch. We met them, we hung out with them, and gave them some product.
Did they smoke? Oh, they smoked.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's Danny Provenzano. He played in he was on like the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and he's also directed This Thing of Ours. He's done like a lot of different.
This Thing of Oz.
Yes. Danny
Ours.
Provenzano.
Yep.
I think
Ron,
he directed it or created it.
He's done quite a few
did a lot with that.
different projects as well, for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So he's
it's
directing Baking Bad.
Have you? Oh,
Bacon Bad.
Yes, Baking Bad is the
called.
show that Danny and Vincent are doing together, and then they looked for
That's a great
They looked
show.
for a cannabis partner, and that's when they found Bada Bloom, and they were like, "We love the name." They're like, "And if we get along with the people, it'll work with the people." And we got along, and now we're working together, and it's really cool.
That'd be a great show. You guys growing weed over there.
It's,
Well,
a
it's
great show.
an
Look at Mike.
infused
How do you
cooking
not get
show.
along with him? Straightforward. Boom, boom, boom.
It's an infused cooking show, right?
yeah.
And then what are they going to be cooking with you guys' product on the show?
Yep. So
or-
we'll be infusing meals with hash. I mean, we'll obviously show like a little kind of beginning tutorial, or we'll be inside of there. So we'll be in the show showing them how we're infusing these meals, and then we'll
Spaghetti
have
sauce.
What are the
specific
guests?
chefs. We'll probably have
And
3
Vincent
chefs.
is the host. He's the host
Vincent's
of
going to be
it.
the host, and we're going to have different chefs on each episode. So these guys, I mean, I don't know if you've.
Oh, different chefs?
Oh yeah, so they're
It's
going to be
gonna be like
cooking at the show.
contestants
We'll have
and
contestants
things.
that come on.
Yeah.
Basically, they're going
Okay.
to be making and infusing a meal with the hash that we're infusing on the show.
Oh, and then there's
Like the hash that's in
judges
this
that.
pen.
The judges will be in there. We'll probably have
Test the
celebrity
food,
judges.
right?
Yeah, we want to have people in there, but just talking about cannabis.
you guys are gonna
Okay.
laugh
We
your
want to talk
ass
about
off.
Oh,
the
man.
right
You guys
things
are gonna
about
kill it.
cannabis and why we're
gonna be
doing
fun.
what we're doing. Why it'll be about these guys trying and tasting the effect and which one had the better effect. Who utilized that towards that dish the best way as well too. So it'll kind of be a bunch of fun things going on, and
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sure we'll be smoking hash on the show as well. We'll be
Yeah,
just chopping it up
Absolutely.
and.
I seen Furio.
You guys
too.
should have Robin
met
there taste
Furio?
testing.
Yeah, I got
Right?
to interview him. I got to talk with him for a bit for the show because we started already filming for Baking Bad.
No
So,
shit.
Yeah, we've already started.
You're in
getting
production?
clips. Yeah.
So
yeah.
where people are, where are people going to be able to find it?
Well, Netflix has first right of refusal on it.
Okay.
So it really it's up to Danny and Vincent. When we just finish it, we'll all talk and we'll figure it out.
Oh, so you're going to film a few pilots
first we'll
do
and then
one
shop
pilot.
it out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do one
Yeah.
pilot, and then we're gonna do 9 other episodes. So we'll have a total of 10 for season 1.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot
you
of
know,
different
I'm good.
options.
It's really smooth.
But there's a lot of interest.
Don't insult the guy.
You gotta try it.
But there's a lot
That's
of
so
interest,
good.
so there's a lot of different options, and it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
Maybe one more.
Right?
No,
So-
I'll be eating sugar cubes over here.
So have any of them guys transitioned into partners actually in Bada Bloom, like the grow?
We're in discussions.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
We are.
cool.
Yeah,
We got
there's
some cool
definitely some
things that we
synergy
could,
and things we're
That's
working
got a
together.
really good taste to it. It's very fruity.
Yeah, that one's Rogue One.
Oh my God, that's on
which
point,
is an
man.
in-house
I'm
genetics.
gonna
You
probably
guys make a great team.
Yeah.
Whenever
you.
there's an attorney question, Mike just goes,
And when it comes to the plants and all of the wonderful things
Looks
that
over
he
there.
does with the soil, it's just, I feel so blessed because, I only smoke the stuff that he makes. So nothing that I ever have has any type of chemicals or any type of solvents. And that's to say that, people, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what that does to people, but all I know is that it makes my body feel really good.
Are you guys working with Chef Nick too?
We did
We
talk with
talked to him. Yeah.
Cool
It's
dude.
an option.
He's
It's
a cool
something that
dude.
we were
For sure.
talking about. Nothing's been solidified.
Yeah.
But if you're listening, give us a call.
Yeah, we had him on the show. He cooks phenomenal. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good stuff because I came in late and it was like a zombie apocalypse going on around here.
Really?
Oh yeah, these guys were like.
Yeah, it was like nine courses.
It was a
something like that. He
slow
just kept,
show
He had
after
like
that
a
one.
special
Yeah.
bread with like.
Oh my
then he
God.
makes his own bread.
The bread was
with,
awesome.
with the yeast or something. He used water, sourdough bread with bubble hash water,
All right.
and then he makes like a special bread.
Infused water.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be throwing out all those ingredients over here. You might be on the show.
Go
Yeah, he did it. He cooked for like 12 of us. It was,
really?
Oh,
Here?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
episode like 5, and then we filmed them all cooking it, and then we filmed us all eating,
Yeah,
and then
eating
we
looking
did like a
stupid.
presentation for each course.
So our next thing that we're going to do on this podcast is going to be Mike doing his Italian cooking and infusing it, and we do like a big thing.
Oh,
for
you're a
baking
big
bash.
infused cook too? You're a big cook
Yeah.
guy?
I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
big cook. I mean, I'm not the biggest edibles person. I mean,
But you just
obviously,
take olive oil
I
to
test
throw
all
it
of
on
our
everything.
edibles
Be nice
that
to have
we're,
spaghetti sauce
going to be
infused
making,
with spaghetti.
in our facility. But I mean, I'm just.
I guess that's kind of a given. If you're Italian, you're probably
But
a
I mean,
cook,
I can
right?
definitely cook it.
He
Yeah,
cooks
I
really
mean,
well, and just infuse the olive oil and do what you do.
We can do some stuff.
That would be fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to see you guys growing and baking, and that's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be it'll be fun. It's an interesting way that you got to pivot in this market.
So you're growing at home right now?
Yeah, so we still have our R&D room. We're running basically the same system that we're utilizing in our facility. So
It's a small little,
Yeah.
The small scale
What
production
we're-
of the
what we're
larger scale
allowed.
production.
what
Yeah.
we're allowed
Yeah.
by law
Yeah.
as two people in
Medical
adult use
patients.
Oh, of
market.
course.
and
Yeah.
adult use.
Yeah.
How many plants can you have as a medical patient in Mass?
So we can each have 12 plants in veg and 12
Yeah.
plants in flower, unlimited clones.
With being a medical
With being
patient?
a medical patient,
Okay.
and then the way I read the law, that you could have 6 flowering each for recreational and 6 in veg each for recreational.
Okay.
So 12 per household.
Oh, you can double dip each person?
Well, I mean, if you have my medical plants, I can't give you my medicine, so I couldn't even let you try that right now. That's
Okay.
not for my medical crop. That's for my recreational crop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, my medicine is what I smoke. You know what I mean?
If I ever start smoking, I'm gonna need something because every time I wake up in the morning, it's like I just play tackle football without pads.
I like the CBD strains along with the THC because I think it creates like more of a entourage effect with the inflammation and just.
Now, do you put your own concoction together sometimes?
Oh, I have I use the Healing Rose CBD under my tongue with and they're part of Bada Bloom as well. We have a partnership because I wanted to work with them because I'd been using their products that have been making my stomach and my body feel better. I have back pain, so you put it in it's an oil you put under your tongue, and yeah, the tincture. It's called a tincture.
Yeah, so
I need
she's getting the best of both. I mean, if she's taking the tincture and taking high CBD and then utilizing a full spectrum with hash, I mean, now you're getting high CBD in your body so that, you're getting that effect from both of them. Which,
See, I need something. I'm in a high strung, like I work in a high strung
environment.
industry. Yeah, it's a
Well,
it's a
personal
tough environment.
environment.
I need something to keep me like leveled.
Yeah.
Like I need some type of gummy bear to be like pop it in where I'm not gonna. I don't say what I really want to say, and I can kind of clean it up.
Edibles.
Ricky, I don't know if
You know
there's
what I
any.
mean? I need something like that. I need a gummy bear.
Magic gummy bears.
All right, now I can clean up my verbiage a little bit.
I would recommend you take an edible at home first to see how it hits you because edibles hit people differently. When I take edibles, I like to be home. It makes me feel more tired. If I take an edible and I'm out, I feel like I'm just gonna zone out and act really strange.
See, I'm that type of guy. I want to do it on the fly. It's a surprise. See what happens.
Or if I just have my vape, it's like you could be social and normal-ish. My version of normal, which is
Next
Oh, I don't know what normal is. Maybe it'll make me normal. I just want to
We
pop
actually
it
try
in.
to
And
slip you
whatever
something
happens,
today.
happens.
We're all our own version of normal. Whatever's normal for you.
This grow thing, you see this growing to, you're gonna get it open and you're gonna grow gonna be like a craft beer, grow the best, have the best hash,
Yeah, well,
and the
I'm-
purest hash,
We'll
the
have-
best process.
We'll have unique genetics. Our goal is to have things that not everyone else has. We're always searching for new flavors.
You know how many people out there right now are looking for old genetics?
Oh, yeah, they're searching. People look for them. They try and see. They all claim a name as this, and that's what, does the consumer just buy it because that's what it says, and they don't even know what the real thing is either?
Well,
sure
if the dispensaries were really following the rules that are laid out right now, that half the stuff they have on the shelf wouldn't be on the shelf, number one.
Yeah, obviously the grow process matters too and how it was grown.
Yeah.
You give the same cut to 5 different people and they grow it 5 different ways. It's not going to be the same either.
Well, then the remediation machine comes into play again.
So I got an
No, well,
When did you
how are
first
people?
learn about the remediation machine?
in a facility in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
No.
No names. No
Yeah,
names.
no names.
No.
I don't want to hear the names, but I just want to hear.
So
the
did you?
I'm not legally
So Mike, did you
allowed.
when you went to that facility? Were you smoking from that facility? And then you saw
No, I
then
went
you
to
saw
work
the machine.
there.
You were like, "Fuck that."
It was a long story, but basically, Tara was like, "Oh, you want to?" We were before we were starting a business, and we were just trying to get into the industry.
Yeah.
There's another story. There's
Kara
another
got
story. I
me
just
into
saw
a
You guys
the
are
facility.
pondering.
She got me into a facility to work there.
Yeah.
I worked in the facility for a little bit,
And shortly.
and shortly after was my departure.
Yeah.
He was there, then he wasn't there.
Because he started commenting on all of the things he felt were wrong with the different curing processes and the different things that he saw there with the remediation. And he was like, I refuse to take all of that moldy weed and shove it in there. And, he's very
Right.
vocal.
Put it
He's
in
very
a Terminator.
Throw it in
vocal.
the trash.
Yeah, but as an owner,
Chiminella.
Full and covered
Yeah.
in powdery mildew.
But was
Like,
it visually?
wet in the Terminator. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm mortified. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
First
But
of all,
Mike,
you're wet trimming the weed. And
as-
second of all, there's fucking PM covered on that
Yeah.
looks like snow.
Right.
Why is there someone standing in the room with no mask on? And why the fuck are you asking me to walk the bin into the room?
They were just making penicillin with the weed. It's a new thing.
I'm like, that can't be for smoking. Are you gonna make this into distillate or whatever? And I don't know. Sure as shit, I don't know. I think it was for fucking smoking.
so they made you out. So they made you out to be a
So they
disgruntled
ran it through
employee.
the Binford remediation machine.
Yeah.
After,
More or less.
after they
So
But as an owner now, right? And you have an employee that's in there, and he has, certain, he has certain things that he wants to talk to you about, with stuff like that. I'm not saying that you have it like that. Wouldn't you want to listen to somebody like that?
You would think. I think everyone just thought their jobs were in jeopardy because it was they were everyone's tight knit in these little places. So everyone has their little family. They'll come in. They'll eat their food together. This place pays for their place. They're all chilling inside of there, and it's just like their own little environment. It's
Would
their
you last 3 weeks?
Day job.
Yeah. What were you eating lunch in the car by
Yeah.
3
yourself?
days.
Yeah.
3 days.
No, I think
All
it was
right.
4 days, but it was ironic because there's one thing.
Be careful. We signed it.
I'm not saying
NDA
anything.
There's no name.
Stuff we
Sign
had
a
It was
to
just
sign
non-competitive,
when we left.
non-talkie clause.
So you said that you can get 5 different growers, right? You can get 5 different growers the same strain, and they could all be different.
Well, yeah.
How can that be translated to the consumer knowing that? What efforts can you do? Because it doesn't seem like anybody's asking these type of things when they go to the dispensary to buy
No,
weed.
I mean-
They just asking about this THC bullshit number. So how can the consumer how can the consumer get that information out there?
If you have your own store, you're obviously going to push that through your store, and people are going to know your brand. Like having that some path to the retail sale, you're dealing with the consumer yourself now too. So it's not as easy. I mean, it's easier in having that avenue that, people, yes, you need to market. You need to spend money on marketing in some way, shape, or form. You need to let people know who you are. I mean, all of the events we go to and everyone we talk to, that is the most minuscule part of anyone that's using your product. I mean, there's just such a small amount of people. You need to get to the people that you don't know. How do you get in front of them? I mean, if you can get into the dispensaries and you finally make a name for your brand and they know they want you, maybe you're their top tier cannabis on the shelf and you're driving people into their store. I mean, you need to incentivize the bud tenders, and you need to let them try your product, and you need to kind of build that relationship and
have pop-ups.
You know, when people are
and
trying your
food.
product and it's that good, I mean, it's why wouldn't you want to smoke that? I mean, and yes, are we at the part where people and consumers are even understanding what that effect should even be? I mean, I don't know. If everyone's smoking this cannabis that I would never smoke, I mean, it's just.
I would even say, forget all that other nonsense. Like, I don't think a consumer knows the difference if they're smoking it out of hydro, cocoa, soil. Like, I don't think they don't know that translates.
Do they care though? That's the thing. It's like, does the normal consumer care?
No.
Do they
I
know
don't
the
think
difference
they
of
do.
how it's going to make
What
them
makes
feel?
good weed
But
for
that's
you?
not our market. Our market is that 15-20%. You're always going to
Your
have.
market is a $10 IPA. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my eyes, it's not the same. I mean, it is something that is more. There is the connoisseur part of it, and then there's the people that, when they understand what actually is going on and what they're purchasing. I mean, we have $2 billion worth of sale in a year.
Yeah.
How is the majority of those consumers not know?
You don't need it all. You
And
just need a little piece.
you don't
of
need
it.
them all. And at the end of the day, you just need some people to actually be like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know that they were doing that to their product. And, you know, I'm changing my brand. Maybe I did feel like shit when I smoked this, and I don't know why. Or you hear people, oh, I'm changing my brand. I don't like this brand. I didn't like this flower. Maybe they don't know why they didn't like it, but it was something that they did to that final product. I mean, for years as a medical patient, and even still today, if you buy or look at any one of those brands and you open it and you smell the package, it smells like a musty mold.
Smells like a hay bale.
They all have the
basically.
same smell,
It is,
and it's
it's
just
musty.
there's no
it smells like a
terpenes.
basement,
It just
like
makes
wet basement.
You know
no
when they bale
sense.
whole
Like,
hay?
why do they? Yeah, I mean,
The same kind of gig.
I wouldn't smoke it now. You could dry rip a joint, and you can tell by the flavor of that joint that it was irradiated cannabis. Like, what? Why would this be radiation remediated in this joint, and you didn't tell someone that it's in there? I mean, what the fuck is going on?
So what do you consider good weed to be then?
I mean, eventually someone is trying something, and they're understanding that they're getting something from it and an effect from it. And are they conscious about the way it's grown? No, but maybe they're hit on that flavor. So maybe you're just growing it this certain way that they're just like, oh my God, I've never tasted anything like this before. And you blow them away, and they're like, I'm coming back to that place. Yes, there's items that you do just buy once and every so often, I guess. I shouldn't say that.
You got to
right?
have repeat customers in
There's-
any business.
but-
That's how business
and
is.
You know,
No,
this
retention.
This is a commodity item that people are coming in, you know, sometimes multiple times in a week for something like this. So they're coming back, and you want the guy to come back again. This isn't the one sale that you sold in that brand and they forget about you out the door. Because I've heard numerous times from people I don't even know meet for the first time. They're like, that brand sucked. I wouldn't buy it again. Well, evidently the consumer must be getting smarter, because this conversation keeps happening more and more. So people are getting more conscious. Not everyone just, you know, is understand. I mean, I really do feel like people do feel like shit when they smoke some of that weed.
Well,
I know.
they've told us they've got
So you're not trying to fight Walmart.
You can't make
it's like
this up.
fuck
Yeah,
Walmart.
people
We're
have been
not-
like, "Oh, I got a headache from smoking that," and that's why I'm just like shaking my head again.
Yeah,
Like, you
a lot
can't
of
make this
reports
shit
of
up.
headaches.
Like, more than
lot.
yes. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I must be. What brand was it? And I'm like, "Radiation Machine." Oh, Radiation Machine.
Yeah, it's a little concerning.
What the fuck? Like, am
Yeah.
I going crazy, or are these
Yeah,
people
right.
just fucking?
There's probably a little bit of mold
No,
in
and
there.
selling.
Yeah, the headaches. I mean, that's
Well,
the
that's
real
part
thing.
of the issue. Is it's not just about whatever remediation that's happening. It's about what is left on that afterwards. The excrement from the bugs, whatever they're killing from the mold, it's still on the flower, and you are now combusting it, changing the
God.
chemical compound of whatever is in there and ingesting it. Yeah.
It's almost like getting weed that's gone through the bug zapper and then you're smoking it, you know, with the
Oh,
dead
my
bugs in it. It's almost kind of like the same analogy.
That is
I
the
know
worst
you might wanna
analogy
have
I've
That
ever
is
heard,
a
man.
disgusting
God.
It's kind of the same
idea.
analogy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty nasty. That really paints a good picture. That paints a good picture. Yeah, it says, oh, put your weed through the bug zapper and then enjoy.
When you're growing, when you guys open up, are you going half the canopy towards rosin or half towards flower? or
Obviously, you have
what
to
are you
assess
doing?
your market. You know
What
what
are
I
you
mean?
thinking?
But you know, you're always going to see. I mean, I have
The
certain,
rosin's fire.
You know, I have strains, that are just going to be specifically for rosin. So, you know, we're going to have a numerous amount of genetics in there, but we're not going to be running them at all times either. We'll have certain ones at different
Oh,
times.
like a pumpkin, like a Halloween brand, like a Halloween.
I think
Christmas.
You could have, you can have different times of year that
4th
you
of
drop certain
July.
ones, and
4th
you're
of
just gonna go in your
July.
rotation,
4th of July.
and we'll be hunting too. We'll still be searching for more strains. We're always looking for that next one.
I think people are going to be looking for that neighborhood guy. Like, I think that's the biggest disconnect with a lot of these brands. They're not like from the neighborhood where they're like trying to post up. So
No, for sure.
nobody knows who they are.
I mean,
like,
it should
you need
be
to have
more
like
trustworthy. You're operating.
you got to know where you're posting up.
right.
You can't be like, hey, I'm here, and just put it on the shelf and think people are going to buy it. You
Right.
got to have a story behind it. You got to know the guy.
I mean,
Now,
this-
Mike, when
And
I
not
got a
spread
dumb,
yourself too thin, I think.
I got a dumb question. When you say delivery, you delivering to stores only, or can you deliver to
Houses.
people?
No,
directly?
retail delivery,
this is
Rick.
Only
home
retail
delivery, right to
Home
someone's
delivery.
front door. So you can call Bada Bloom, and Bada Bloom gonna jump in their car, and they're gonna
Bada
drive on
Vroom.
over and
Yeah.
vroom vroom
Bada
right
Yeah, the
there.
rules to that. We've learned about the rules to that delivery thing. The driver is only allowed to carry a certain amount because we had gas busts.
Yeah, gas bus
Yeah.
from Middleborough.
And
How
they're
much did you try to order?
I can only keep.
So you're gonna pick your lane. You're selling to a specific clientele, and I don't think you're gonna go wrong.
Craft
No, I mean
cannabis.
that's the model that
You got you got the show covering for the advertisement,
sure.
reaching out to people.
I mean, the thing that I always look
fun.
at, right? And if people want to look at this from the gray market or not, and are people paying like a decent amount? Yes, there's still a decent amount. I mean, the black market's thriving in certain areas. And if someone's paying for it in the black market, why wouldn't they pay for it in the legal market for that same price?
How come you don't see anybody? I think the small model's great, and I think selling your own product is great because you don't see like Starbucks selling Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and you don't see Dunkin' Donuts selling Starbucks coffee. You don't see that in the weed game. You don't see a dispensary with only one product line.
No, for sure.
But
I
you
don't
need to
think
build a
that
brand.
works.
I think like that would work.
No, we're obviously
You
on our
know?
delivery menu. We're going to be carrying other craft brands. I mean, we want to be showcasing the guys that are doing it right. I mean, we want to have things on our menu that are going to be other people that are cannabis that I would smoke. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to have something that passes the test of
Okay.
this is to our standard, and then you can get on our
But-
menu.
yeah,
Like,
and-
we're not just going to throw anything on the menu for what it is.
See,
I
and you
mean,
bring up a good point with the delivery companies because Gas Bus said the same thing. And that's why you want to buy because delivery companies eventually just become delivery. They're going to deliver whatever they can make
Yeah,
their
for
money
sure.
on.
Well,
but if you put your name on it like that, like Gas Bus is like, no, we're not going to sell people shit that we wouldn't smoke.
No, I mean, we could have opened a retail. I've already raised $2.7 million. Tara and I have raised that much money. I could have opened more than one retail. That wasn't my model because I don't believe in selling this shitty ass weed, and I can't even. I don't think I could go
Selling
home
the
at
swag.
night making. And like I've said, there is good people growing good weed now. There's some
yeah.
killer brands.
There's a bunch.
But
What's Tara trying
but
to
there
say
weren't
over there?
there on day one and year two, and
Trying to say
going
something
into
for
it,
like
they
the
weren't
last
there.
10 minutes.
So it's
there.
like
Rick, he
they're
keeps on
here
asking the
now.
same
so now
fucking
the model
question.
makes sense. Retail does make sense.
Tara, what are you trying to say over there?
Sorry, we
What
keep
was-
cutting you
knows?
off.
It
What
was like
was I trying
15
to
minutes
say?
ago.
What I was trying to say at the time, just basically in alignment with what you were saying before about how everybody needs to try something, how we need to try it. And I really think that that's important because these are the conversations that unless anybody's tried it, it's not going to matter. Like if you've never had a filet mignon and you've never had a really good Cabernet
Ribeye.
or Chianti and you try to describe it to someone that's never had it, you don't get it. And I really think it's really that simple. That when you're trying to, unless people have actually tried good solventless hash rosin, they don't understand the sensation it makes your body feel and how clean it makes you feel.
Yeah, that more small batch people need to come online.
I found that people that grow weed are some of the happiest motherfuckers out there
Yeah, I mean,
because they
is that
they just
true?
wanna they just
we
wanna
just
like
look-
hang out the plant all
We just
day.
look happy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they really.
The point of the show is bringing people on that are doing it for the love,
Right.
Right, and
No,
doing it
for
for
sure.
all the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
and it's to showcase the people that are not. Right,
Yeah, but
the
it's
people
gotta
that are
pay
just
the
in
bills,
it just
too.
for the investment, they have zero
No,
clue,
for sure.
never smoked a joint in their life, and they're the ones that are running the industry.
Right.
So how do we take it back from them?
That's what we're trying to do.
You got to do your thing too, and sometimes it's not focusing on everything that they're doing and just focusing on what we're doing and making sure that model is solid and that yes, can you utilize policy and things in regulation to make sure that we're not getting screwed even more? I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, you got to make sure that they're not making it even worse, because I'm sure that they will try, because when you're losing an edge on the market, isn't that what's going to happen? They're going to try and keep
they're coming for you.
Of course they are.
Cheater in high grass.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's, you grow good product, though, so you get it to the consumer, you do your thing. I mean, everyone can survive in this market. There's both sides that can survive. The market is so big. Can every one of the large companies survive? Probably not. I think a couple are crashing or have crashed already. So it's like, no, they're not all going to survive either, but there's going to be a game of a bunch of craft guys that are on their way and working and opening their doors. Some people that are already up and running. And then there's going to be a lot of people just growing large, cannabis at scale. And it's like, which category do you fit into, and which model do you have that actually makes sense, that you can get it to the consumer? People like what you're doing. They follow your brand and they understand the process. Some people do care,
Well, that's what it goes back to. The consumer needs to know their brand. That's how you got on the show, man. You had that hash on the golf course, and I was like, this is tasty. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. Then talking to you, like, shit's real deal. I can't wait for it to hit the market.
Thank you.
For sure.
Vegan hash.
Sure.
Vegan hash.
Tara. It's on point.
The soil, can be vegan as well.
Yeah.
Good.
Is that what you recommend?
I don't know. I'm so steamed from that.
Yeah.
Man, I
My
think
boy's
I'm gonna have to
burying
have
sugar cubes. He's going to lose
I
his
think I'm
teeth.
gonna have to have sugar cubes. It's so hard.
He's gonna lose
I
his
think that's
teeth.
it. I
See,
think
I don't
we're
smoke that all the time.
I think we're done here. I think that's a wrap. Did
No,
you
that
guys
was
need to plug
awesome.
anybody? You guys need shout outs to anybody who's been helpful? Any?
There's so many friends to name in the cannabis space that make going to every, cannabis event not like work. It's like a real sense of community. It's because it's a set of, I've made such friendships in this community because we share the same ideals. And it's about how cannabis has changed their life, made them a better person, and trying to put a better product out there and really do good things.
How can the consumers follow you guys' shenanigans? What you guys are up to? How the process is going?
We got Bada Bing, Bada Boom, Bada Steamed.
Instagram is at badabloom.fam. So BADABLOOM.FAM. And then my personal handle is at Tara Juana, since my name is Tara Jean, and that's what I was called in Spanish class. It kind of went. And,
What's the Facebook?
and then we also have the Baking Bad TV show. So the Instagram is at BAK. Just Baking Bad TV show. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
The website.
Yeah, we got a website.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey, don't
we got
worry.
over
Rob
there?
sucked the spelling bees as well.
Yeah.
What was that? Baking Bad?
Baking Bad TV show.
Yeah.
BakingBad.com.
No, we don't
my
have
God.
we don't have a website for that yet. That's
I'm just kidding.
We
I'm
have
just kidding.
BadaBloomCannabis.com.
Bada Bloom.
BadaBloomCannabis.com, and then we have our Facebook that's baking. That's Bada Bloom, and
What else we got? You got a personal handle?
Yeah.
Marinaro Michael. My last
Yeah,
name's
Marinaro.
Marinaro, like the sauce, but with an O.
Yeah, that's why Randy, when he was like, "Yeah, it's marinara," I'm like, "It can't be like the sauce." I'm like, "I don't think so." I'm like, because when you were on your way here, I'm like, "What is it?" I'm like, I can't call him marinara. I'm like, it's got to be marinaro. So I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah.
I think we should ask Yoda if you guys are going to be successful.
Yoda.
Yoda, do you think Bada Bloom is going to be successful?
Tickles me, you have.
I can't understand what he's saying.
All right, Yoda. You're done.
Yoda didn't answer.
Yoda's high.
Yeah, that's it.
Yoda got some smoke.
Yeah, he just kept on repeating himself. Oh yeah,
No, we
that's
ended
a
up
wrap.
with stupid stuff like that. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, that's
I
a
bought
wrap.
this thing at like 20 years ago at a yard sale.
Still have the
I
same
put a battery in it,
That
it
is the
works.
same battery in it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Wake up in the morning, got a bag on my schedule. Niggas talking, bitches talking, they is not on my level. Check the time, wrist, rollie, rose gold on the bezel. Grab my keys and get my cell and hit the door with a shovel. It's time to get it out the mud, 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 out the mud. It's time to get it.